All right. So there you go, the Hillary Clinton thing. You want to move on to that thing that kept Jimmy up all night?
Oh,
it annoyed
yes.
me. Just more shitty customer service.
It is annoying.
From an airline. More shitty customer service.
It's your airline, though, Jimmy. You turned us all on to Continental years ago.
It's amazing how poorly airlines respond to people. It's almost like an arrogance, like we know you have to fly.
Put number 6 on. Line
You saw
6
that
for
too?
a second. Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to you in a sec,
Sure.
Jimmy. Mike in Tampa, yeah.
Mike!
Go ahead, give me hell.
Heck.
Yeah.
Being an Italian, you should know you can't dig an aqueduct. They're above ground. You got to build them.
Really? Then what's a viaduct? What's a viaduct? You fucking asshole!
He hung up.
Yeah, he certainly did.
No one has ever asked what's a viaduct like that before.
Ever on the radio. You're the first one ever.
No one has ever asked that question.
You're an innovator.
Do you know, I listen to the replay sometimes, and I cannot believe that it's really me. I am a fucking lunatic.
It's like sitting with a crazy person.
It really is.
All right.
What is the difference? Aqueduct, water. Viaduct carries a railway. No, viaduct also carries water. I don't know. Whatever. I think an aqueduct can be anything.
It was still a good line.
It's a racetrack.
I enjoyed it as a good line that would wreck a party. So
who cares what the actual meaning is? As long as I can yell.
Yeah, you know how fucking early it is? Leave us alone. All right, Jimmy. So this customer service airline thing bothered you.
We had an incident with Kenny on Continental recently where he was upgraded to first class.
Nice.
And then they kicked him out of first class.
Not nice.
I think because they sold the ticket. He had a bulkhead ILC because he's 6'4".
He is a bulkhead.
Yeah, he is a lunkhead in the bulkhead. And then what they do is they put him back in coach, and they will refuse to give him back his seat. So they upgrade the guy, they boot him out, and they refuse to give him back his bulkhead ILC. They give it to a little old lady who's tiny. Ew. And they say, well, we can't have a domino. It's almost like we've screwed you out of your seat.
Yeah.
And now we're not going to inconvenience another person. It's despicable.
Oh, that is.
I got
customer service.
I got a worse story.
Remember
when I was left behind in Atlanta? They actually closed the door on my face.
What
I
airline?
do remember that.
I forgot the details. We flew down maybe to work in radio down in Atlanta. Okay. And somehow I think our flight was canceled or they overbooked. Something was going on. So we got on the next flight and on standby. So I think there was 4 of us at the time. Was it that trip?
Yeah, I think it was.
There was 4 of us, and we all got on. Good news, you got seats. We all sit down nice. The plane is packed. It's ready to take off. All of a sudden, the stewardess comes and grabs just me. He goes, "Follow me, sir." I'm like, "All right, cool. Follow me," And I walk off the plane. They're like,
"Must be in the front row."
They're like, "We made a mistake. We don't have a seat for you on this flight." I'm like, "What are you?"
But I was just sitting in one.
As I'm saying, what are you talking about? Next thing you know, I'm off the plane, and they're closing the door in my face because they got a schedule to keep to.
They don't want to argue with you in your seat is what it was.
And I looked at Ann. He's in a tiny little window, and I'm like, "Help me. My luggage is on the plane, everything."
Did you get back on the plane?
No.
Oh.
I'm
just like,
I was
bye, I'll be home.
And they back out. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck happened? I was in my seat comfortable.
Like, what happened to Opie?
And now I'm off the plane, and the door, they literally shut it in my face.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't know, they'll talk to you and figure something out. And my pal takes off. Everybody else takes off.
I looked out the window. I'm like, there he is in the terminal.
What happened?
There's Opie in the terminal. Look.
No explanation except come with me. Sorry, you don't have a seat, and and that was it.
How long did you have to wait?
And it wasn't their problem because they had to get this flight going.
How long did you have to wait?
It would be good if I said days or something.
No,
but it was like
what I like?
2 or 3 hours. They did get me on the next flight, but it was like, what the fuck?
You know what I like? The fact that I was able to pull the armrest up and just lay down in the 2 seats. It was
It probably was you. You probably fucking bought 2 seats.
That was. I think you guys told me you flew down on a small airline. Which is
no, that was the first time where they painted over the old value jets.
Value jet, yeah,
and said no, we fixed the problem because we gave the planes a new paint job. If you remember the value jet,
yeah,
the
sure,
one went down in the swamp in Florida.
Yes,
And instead of getting rid of all those planes, they just gave it a nice paint
Yeah.
job and changed the logo.
Well, it was so despicable the way Kenny was treated. To a guy, it's almost like you fly to become an elite, right? And then you're elite and you've kept your part of the bargain. I've showed loyalty to your airline.
Yes.
So part of the reward of having showed loyalty is an upgrade. And they boot him out. And the people at the gate it was enraging. And the guy's like, well, they shouldn't be doing this automatic. This is what the gate agent is telling me because I'm talking to the guy and he goes, well, your friend had an attitude. I'm like, my friend got booted out of his seat. And then my friend wasn't allowed to sit in his bulkhead seat. My friend's 6'4". I was really aggravated.
Yeah.
Like the nerve of this guy to say my friend had an attitude.
He got an attitude. Well,
yes,
yeah,
he did.
And he should.
And he goes, I'm gonna put a mark on his account. Yeah, good. You do that.
He didn't say that.
Oh, yes, he did. I'm going to put some kind of a mark on his account. Like they're so arrogant in their customer service, they can't believe he had the right to be livid that he was being screwed.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because they know you have to fly.
Wow. What
Just amazing.
Fuck.
Customer service, I mean, it's non-existent at this point.
But it's frustrating
fake.
when it's an airline like Continental, or when you deal with them all the time. It's just frustrating because you're showing a certain amount of loyalty. You don't expect them. Look, people have mistakes happen. To me, the real sin they committed, I should be slapped for saying that, was the fact that they wouldn't give him back his bulkhead seat. Like, all right, they sold the seat. Maybe another flight had gotten canceled. It was a mix-up. They wouldn't just apologize, give him a little voucher for the inconvenience, and give him back his bulkhead seat.
Move the little old lady
because
to that seat.
Because that would require somebody taking charge and going, look, we wronged this guy. He's an elite member. He had this seat. They want to do the least amount of work possible, regardless of how it affects the customer.
And they don't give a shit that Kenny's, 6'5", 250, something like that. So
that's 6'5"? Okay.
So he's 6'5", 250. So, I mean, it would take one look at Kenny to realize, wow, we got to give him his bulk seat back so he's comfortable.
Had they done that and said,
to them, it's like no big deal. A seat's a seat, but it's bullshit when you're looking at Kenny. He does need special seating on these planes to be comfortable.
He's special.
Had they done that and said, look, we're sorry, we sold the seat because we had a flight cancel, it's been a tremendous day, here's a little voucher for the inconvenience. It's like that's all people have to do to make you feel better. Like, okay, at least they're looking out for me.
Yep.
Well, the thing that upsets me the most is the guy said I had a bad attitude.
Well,
because, you can't say nothing to those people or they won't even let you on the plane.
No, now they have all the power in the world where if you say something, they'll be like, well, this guy's got an attitude. We can't have him on a plane, so.
Well, I know how to be a problem, and I wasn't a problem at that point.
He wasn't. He was just. Kenny was just stuck up for himself, and they are so not used to somebody actually calling them out accurately on what they did wrong.
Yeah, you know what happened? Jimmy and I like to board first and get on, get comfortable. Because as Jimmy said, we are elite members.
That's right.
Yes.
I was in first class as well, and being a gentleman, I like to board and have a tomato juice while I boo all the people going to coach. I sit there and I go, boo! Don't make eye contact with me.
James, you drink tomato juice.
Yeah, what do they say?
Tomato.
Oh, tomato juice. Yes.
Yeah, well, that is for a fancy gentleman.
And it's amazing. I was upgraded, but it's amazing how fast I forget where I came from. I was supposed to be in coach with dumbbell here, and the minute they upgraded me, I forgot exactly where I came from.
And you forgot that you were even with Kenny.
Oh, who is this lunkhead?
Right.
Yeah, and
Be gone, tall creep.
I didn't get an upgrade till that morning, a couple hours before the flight. So I was like,
Must have been very excited.
Yeah, but I would have been just as happy in my bulkhead aisle. That's the first row of last class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would have been close to Jimmy. But so we're the first two boarding, and they take my boarding pass and they go, oh, here he is, go see her. And she's standing at the desk right next to the thing.
Shit.
And she's going, there's been a problem. You were upgraded, but we sold your seat instead. So here's your ticket. So now I look, and now I'm in a regular seat where no leg room, no nothing. So all I did was say, well, can't I just have my old seat back? And they're going, no, that's going to cause a domino effect.
No, you switch one with the other.
I says, well, you should have thought about that before you got greedy and sold my ticket.
Yeah. Don't give the upgrade. Don't encourage people to be elite. And then when you upgrade them, sell the seat. Don't encourage. He kept his part of the bargain by being loyal to one airline. It's just.
How is taking an old hag, putting her in your seat, and you taking your original seat back a domino effect?
Yeah.
Doesn't it have to like keep going?
Yeah, nah.
So then I asked them, what about emergency row? No, that wasn't available. So I was like, all right, there's nothing I can do. So I says, can I have my old boarding pass back? Because I wanted to write a letter and I wanted the proof, the evidence, right? They had ripped it up and put it in the garbage. They go, it's in the garbage. I go, well, can I have it? I'd like to have it. They go, we're not picking through the garbage. I go, my luggage tag is on that boarding pass. I'd like to have my luggage tag in case something happens. You don't need it. The number's on the thing. Where are we supposed to stop the boarding process to accommodate you? I go, you can do that and you can do this. It's no puzzle to figure out.
See, you're making problems.
And you asked for a pen. He asked for a pen.
So then I go, oh, you guys are all about customer service, huh? And you could see it in their eyes. That's when it took the turn, right?
That's where you had your attitude.
Yeah, I go, could you write down your names because I'm going to write a letter. So the one lady, she wrote down her name, and then the guy taking the tickets, I go, could you write down your name? I asked the lady, could you write down his name? No, he can write his own name. So I go, sir, could you write your name? He goes, no, that's why we wear name tags. So I said, miss, she had the pen in her hand because she just wrote her name. I said, miss, could you write down his name or could I borrow your pen? No, you can't borrow my pen.
That's
Wow.
These are people working at the gate at the airline.
So
unfucking believable.
And that's when I saw that they wrote down my name. So because the best defense is a good offense.
Yes.
So I dug a pen out of my bag. I wrote down his stupid name.
Oh, you got the names?
Yeah.
The one thing, Kenny, is as being an ex-detective, he really has his facts correct, and that annoys people.
Yeah.
It annoys people. But this is all a tangent, because there's another example of just mistreating passengers, and this is how we got off on this subject, was the story of last night. The Continental Express. The people that got stuck on the plane overnight.
Yeah, let's get into this news.
Another great example of customer service and the customer coming first and being taken care of.
But it's like, this is frustrating because most people are not able to talk about this stuff on the air, and that's why we do when it happens. Because everybody deals with this kind of crap, and you get so sick of it. You get so tired of talking to like just a robot.
Yeah.
To not talking to somebody who goes, oh yeah, that was kind of a screw up on our part. Let me help you out with that.
Did you get their names though and write your letter?
I didn't write the letter.
You should write the letter.
Write the letter.
Write the letter.
You can't fight City Hall.
I've written letters. They've actually gotten things done.
I know.
What an asshole.
But it's the way they pack you in the back of that plane is like criminal.
Yeah, it really is.
You're
right.
Boy,
it is.
they do that.
Thank you, Aunt Kenny.
It's criminal.
It's criminal. It's like sardines.
Let's get to the Continental story that got Jimmy very annoyed last night.
The whole thing is so ridiculous. It's inexcusable.
Continental Flight 2816, operated by ExpressJet Airlines, took off from Houston, bound for MSP. Stormy weather forced the plane to be diverted to Rochester.
Okay.
Once there, the aircraft sat on the tarmac for 6 hours.
There has to be another way of dealing with people like that.
Passengers claimed the conditions were miserable, with babies crying and a stench coming from the toilets. But the airline, citing the fact that security had gone home for the night, made everyone stay on the plane.
Holy shit.
Can you believe that?
Yes, I can. Yeah. Continental Express are 51-seat, I believe, Embraer jets.
Yeah.
And to sit on that thing for 6 hours.
It doesn't have a seat. It's one row of seats on one side, two seats
two
on
one,
the other.
right?
And they are those small seats. They don't really recline more than 3 inches.
Yeah.
And the seats are kind of hard. They're not even like nice, cushy seats. Very uncomfortable and made for a short hop.
And they're saying that the plane smelled like dirty diapers in one of the stories.
The bathroom started really stinking.
Yeah. So the dirty diapers means there was kids on
Babies,
there
yeah.
screaming.
There
They're
were
fucking
babies.
They're not pleasant if they haven't eaten every 15 minutes.
I'd have fucking done what the woman did in the last episode of MASH with the chicken.
And they said that the Continental diverted their comments. They said people complaining them to go talk to ExpressJet. Now we should talk to you. Your name is on the side of I don't care if it's being operated by ExpressJet.
In partnership with.
Yeah. Your name's on the side of the plane. You allow them to put their miles into your elite status. So how about you field the complaints?
Yep.
And what were they supposed to do if security went home? I'm just trying to play this out.
I don't know.
Obviously, you got
giving people the option of leaving if they wanted to.
You got to get the people off the plane. You can't expect them to sit 6 hours on the tarmac.
Yeah. or find a way to get security there, or do something. Just
Maybe-
have the captain call somebody at TSA.
Yeah, maybe make some emergency phone calls.
Or fly somewhere else. How about that? Take off and land somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, they
6
they
hours.
left him there 6 hours on a small plane. If you're in a nice big jet for 6 hours, a cross country flight,
Sure.
You're kind of uncomfortable.
Antsy.
How about
Yeah.
this? We could barely sit here for 4 hours.
Oh, please. I know. Think about that.
And we got the shit smell coming from Jimmy every
Yeah.
hour.
I get nervous.
We're in a very similar situation.
Wow, I never thought of that.
Here's the second half of the story.
We had space available to them. Security was not an issue.
A claim the airport manager in Rochester disputes.
If it were my decision to make, those people would have never sat out there on the tarmac for that length of time. But it is not an airport decision. It wasn't a security issue. It's strictly an airline issue.
Local aviation expert Terry Tripler tells us that currently passengers caught in a nightmare scenario like this don't have a lot of recourse.
Their excuses are absolutely a joke.
But as consumers, he says they can fight back by flying with someone else.
Continental says they're sorry. No, they're not. If they were sorry, something like this would have never happened in the first place.
So great public relations, Continental. They're taking a beating. Good.
Yeah, they really are.
After having dealt with that, that's why I mentioned Kenny's situation. After having dealt with that recently and seeing the way, and I talked to the guy after the guy who had dealt with Kenny. He goes, "Your friend had an attitude," because he happened to come in the plane. I'm like, my friend got really kind of screwed over there, and I had a very civil discussion with him. But I could just see the arrogant. It's like you're not scolding a petulant boy.
Yeah.
You're scolding an ex-detective who knows what he's talking about and who was screwed out of his seat because your airline didn't fulfill its promise to,
And what do you
to
mean
keep this
knows
upgrade.
what he's talking about? He's an expert flyer. The guy.
Absolutely.
How many flights has Kenny
Flown, booked,
I would love to
Yeah.
know how many flights Kenny has been on.
or been involved with.
Does he know about
booking flights and
knowing
know-
that OCD freak? He knows about how many flights he's. You don't know? Okay.
A lot.
Don't come in and bore.
Because
everybody. Thank you.
he's and the flights that he doesn't take, the ones he books for me, he books every flight I take.
Books everyone's flights on this show.
Yep.
I mean, everyone's. He's an expert flyer.
It's
is what I'm getting at.
enraging to have dealt with that.
to be dealt with,
right.
and just treated
Let me-
like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Let me go to David in Kansas City.
And
David,
I believe that they lied, and they're good for the airport manager to stick up and say that wasn't our fault. Security was not an issue.
Yeah.
it's incompetence.
Stupid
they
liars.
just didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do. David in Kansas City. Go ahead.
Morning, boys.
Hey, David.
A couple years ago, I won a AirTran Airways thing through an XM contest or one of those surveys, and I was flying into Atlanta and taking another flight out. Well, we got to the gate about 15 minutes before the flight. They had a drunk guy that they had to take off the plane, and they closed the gate and we're taking off. And I'm looking at the airplane leaving, and the guy's like, "We got a problem here." And I said, "Well, we need to get on the flight." "Oh, no, they've already closed the door. Do you want to become part of the problem?" And then they made us stay in some ghetto hotel down in Atlanta. We had to spend the night because the plane was right there, and they said, "Well, once they've closed the door, they can't reopen it. So you're just screwed for the night."
They have these weird things, like they had this. Apparently, the crew became illegal after a certain amount of hours, which is what happened with this. It's just
Can't fly with a crew is illegal,
it
as
was
you.
something like that. But they didn't want to let them off the plane and deal with it. And
Yeah, a lot of these things. We got a guy bumped 3 times by Continental while trying to fly
Bumped
home to
3 times.
right? Yeah,
Of
okay.
course.
Bumped 3 times while flying home to his mother's funeral.
how do they bump a guy flying to his mother's funeral?
Hey, Eric,
Hey, boys.
you told him you were flying home for your mom's funeral?
Yep, my mom passed away on a Saturday. We live in Colorado, but she was being buried in a family plot in Ohio. And she scheduled on the plane. We wanted, my wife, myself, and my dad wanted to be on the same plane as her casket. Continental says, "Oh, no problem." The funeral home handled the arrangements, got us on there. We showed up at the airport on time. They said, "Oh, the flight's overbooked. We'll get you on the flight that leaves an hour later." We're like, "Well, okay, that's fine." That flight comes due. "Oh, it's oversold also." They said, "Okay, we have another flight that leaves in 3 hours." We're like, "Well, it can be an inconvenience, but okay." We show up for that flight. It's oversold We started demanding our money back. A representative from American Airlines was walking by, heard what was going on, made arrangements to get us on a flight out in about 30 minutes, and American handled getting our luggage from Continental in Cleveland.
I'll tell you, Cleveland, this is what's despicable about that. Cleveland's a hub for Continental. That's a hub, meaning that they constantly have planes going in and out of there. Houston's their main one, then you have Newark and you have Cleveland. So that's something they probably could have handled a lot better.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, Continental was it took us 7.5 weeks to get refunded our money, and I mean, we had to pay full fare, on the spot, full fare on American, but they were able to get us on the flight. But it took us over 7 weeks to get any type of a refund from Continental, because the comment from Continental was, well, if you would have waited another 4 hours, we could have got you on a flight. And we're like, what part of it's a fucking funeral and it's my mother are you having a problem with?
They're not human. It's like trying to talk to a computer screen.
The Terminator.
I flew exclusively Continental. And a couple of times I've had to switch up because HBO or somebody else. And I got so tired of defending them to other networks. And then someone told me about this United flight that goes cross country. So I've flown United a couple of times.
Yeah.
And you know what? They were great. They were great. It's like, oh, that's why they're the biggest airline in the world.
Maybe it's time to change airlines. We're waiting for your move, Jimmy. We're waiting for your move.
I feel comfortable on Continental. I feel comfortable on American. And I feel comfortable on United as far as them being safe aircraft.
What about the JetBlue?
JetBlue, I do too.
They got some nice new planes.
They just don't have a first class.
And they get a little wacky with their announcements.
Nah, I don't want that crap.
They try to keep it a little fun for everybody.
I don't want fun, and I want a first class.
Yes, first class and no fun.
I don't want fun. I want a Korean war vet captain whose wife even calls him sir in bed. Like, I don't want fun. I want official, cranky, mustachioed man.
Yes.
I don't mind a little fun.
I don't like
with
fun.
my flight.
No fun with flying.
I think the last JetBlue flight I was on, they actually told us to roll up the windows because they're about to take off.
Exactly. I would have said, yes, open the door. I'm getting off. I don't want the windows down or up.
It got a few chuckles from everyone.
Of course it did.
To roll up the windows because they're about to take off.
While they said that, you know what should have been happening? Let's recheck that knob instead.
Yeah.
Instead of that joke, he could have been saying, check that for the 50th time.
Check something, like double, triple check something that could have been checked.
Speaking of flights, were you on the flight to Turks and Caicos where the guy took over the plane and started buying drinks for everybody?
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't know what to do?
Yeah.
That
was our first.
A lot of people have been on the party plane where you're going to Jamaica or some kind of spring break flight, and it's just a zoo in the air.
Yeah,
they calmed all this down. Somebody got in trouble. Was it Hooters Airline or some? There was an incident where they finally calmed this shit down.
Too much partying going on.
But the guy, he was in the front of the plane. I don't think this had a first class section. It was a shitty plane, some shitty airline just to get us to the islands, and. The guy just takes the talking device. What the fuck they call those things?
Microphones. The PPA thing?
Yeah, it's not really a microphone though.
Talking device.
So I'll call
the throat. He takes the throat from somebody. Yeah. The mouth.
And this guy just starts making announcements. And the stewardess is like, what? I can't control this plane.
I can't.
And all of a sudden the guy goes, and just when she thought she could get control back, on the plane, the guy makes an announcement that all drinks are on him for the rest of the flight. So now the place goes nuts. And what are you supposed to do as a stewardess but, get to it and get everyone their drinks on this guy? Oh, my God.
I've done that, too, but I've always bought things that I knew the plane didn't have on it. Like, I've grabbed the mic and I scream, pot pies for everyone. On me.
Let's say hi to Brian in PA. Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
Better now, Bri.
Good.
I just got medically evac from Iraq. I'm sitting in this little airport down in Virginia Beach, and because I let an F word fly under my voice, and there was a stewardess sitting right next to me,
damn.
I got bumped off the plane.
Oh yeah.
What airline?
It was Continental.
Well, what were you cursing about?
I was just cursing. I just said I dropped something on the floor, and I said, fuck. And I'm already late for my medical appointments, everything back in PA here. And I just dropped it on the ground. I said, fuck. And they said, sir, you're going to have to leave the plane. I cursed next to this stewardess.
Are you leaving something out there, sir?
Maybe not. They're uber sensitive these days.
I can't picture somebody just booting you off a plane because you dropped something and you want to fuck.
Because we're the real terrorists. So you got to make sure everyone is calm and under control. Let me say hi to Lisa in Jersey. Lisa, you know what I really want? Were the silly little announcements they make just to try to keep it fun for everyone.
I don't want those at all. I despise them.
No, I want to hear some that were told on these flights.
Remember the pilot that was doing trivia contests for bottles of booze?
Which flight were we on for that?
I think that was
an LA
one of
flight?
Turks or I'm not sure.
It must have been a party plane. The party planes rule.
Yeah, and it was like the co-pilot who was
giving trivia questions.
Yeah, doing trivia questions. It's like, what about check our course, make sure we're okay.
That's really comfortable sounding.
Let's say hi to Lisa in Jersey. Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Good. I just want to let you know, one time I had flown Continental not too far after, right after 9/11, and then I had a 4-month-old daughter with me, and our plane that was delayed because of 2 flat tires on the plane. So they pulled everybody off. They gave us vouchers to go get some food. Next thing I know, I go back, try to get back on the plane to go back home to New Jersey, and they wouldn't let me through. They actually boarded everybody on the plane. I'm holding a newborn baby, no purse, no diaper bag, no bottles, nothing. And they said, sorry, you're on your own. I started crying. I couldn't believe it.
Of course you did.
And Continental
Woman.
just didn't want to hear it. And thank God there was some elderly gentleman who was at the airport, part of security, and he said, guys, she's got a newborn baby. I had nothing with me but my baby.
Where was your purse?
I had left everything on the plane because they had us all get off. Which
You're silly.
How late were you getting back to the plane?
I was trying to get back to go into the plane and leave, and then finally security walked me on the plane after they delayed everything. They checked me out. They called New Jersey to make sure who I was. They got my purse, and I said, oh, my God, I'm holding a newborn baby like I'm some kind of a terrorist. But that was the worst experience I had ever had with Continental.
Old exploding baby trick.
Yeah, that's 8 years ago, too.
They'll use it.
True. No, and we understood that, but it was just how they didn't want to hear it. I'm holding a baby.
All right.
They thought that I was going to do
the
something.
baby.
Yeah.
Enough about the baby.
All right, Lisa,
Hope the
thank
baby
you.
is healthy and wonderful now. Kid's 41.
Right.
No, so I just Continental, their customer service is the worst.
Well, I mean, we're picking on Continental today, but I think in general, customer service is just
It's terrible.
horrendous across the board.
I'm only
sure
talking
there's some examples out
American,
there.
United, every airline has,
Yeah.
I'm sure, the same complaints from people.
Mike N from Jersey. I like when Continental makes someone not on elite status get off the elite carpet on the floor. Great perk.
I actually do like. Yeah, I actually do like when when I see someone trying to board and they
Yes.
push them aside. I do like that.
It's like we're only boarding elite status people right now. Go back to the end of the fucking bilge line.
I do like that.
Dan in Milwaukee, they'll keep you on the plane so they don't have to buy hotel rooms. That's probably.
I'm sure that's one reason.
I'm sure that's part of it. Save a little money. I guess we're pretty much done with this topic, right? We can move on to other things.
Sure.
Yep.
After we take a food break.
Someone has to tinkle.
Wow.
My hand's up.
Hold on. Mike in Jersey has to share. He's very frustrated. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, my dad was flying from Tampa to Canada because his mother died to go to her funeral, and he got stuck in Charlotte or Charleston. I can't remember which one. He was flying Continental. They oversold the flight and wouldn't book him on another flight. He had a fax copy of the obituary and was told that he was no more important than any other passenger on the plane.
Yeah, that's a power trip too.
That's good. That's good.
People on their power trips.
How do they test some of these employees? What do they like? Have like stress tests, and if they fail it miserably, they hire them.
Yeah, they give them a job.
How does that happen?
We got a guy that was stuck on a plane for 14 hours, but then we got this guy. I know we're trying to move on, but listen to this one. Dave, Tennessee, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Dave.
All of a sudden, one time I was taking a flight, my luggage comes off the carousel, and it's drenched in jet fuel. So I go over and talk to the guy at the luggage department, and this arrogant ass had the nerve to say, "How do you know we did it?"
Not just a little jet. It's drenched in jet fuel. Holy shit! How did it work out for you?
I called, I said, I want to talk to your supervisor. And he came over and said, yeah, we ruined a bunch of stuff. We got some mail, too.
Yeah.
They ended up just buy a piece of luggage, replace your clothes, send them a receipt. But I'm like, that was this guy's first reaction was, how do you know we did it?
Well,
It's so
I don't
small.
own a jet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would it be? Why would you dip your luggage in jet fuel? What would be the point of that?
It was on your plane.
Unless you'd been cheating on your wife and you wanted to hide the perfume smell.
Yeah.
And you saw some jet fuel.
Punch it out, guys.
That's a good story right there. Cody, 14 hours on a plane, huh?
Yes. Food. Hello, Cody.
What's up, Cody?
So yeah, I was like 15 years old. I was on my way back from a flight from Germany.
Oh, yeah.
It's only about a
Paul.
7-hour flight, but some asshole had a heart attack over London, so we had to land. And then they had to get him out. That took time. Then as we were getting ready to leave, they realized, oh, yeah, the brakes have to cool, so we had to wait for that. Then they realized, oh, yeah, the food is all bad now, so we had to wait for more fucking food.
Wait, the food's all bad? How fresh of food do they need?
Yeah.
What were they, flambés that the fire went out and they had to get new ones?
Well, I guess it was all
How
cold.
sensitive is the food that it goes bad so fast?
Exactly. What were they, quail eggs that fell? Food's no good. Sorry,
Well,
sir.
you know, they're panicky Pete's with chicken and it getting cold and salmonella probably. So
You don't get salmonella in 10 minutes.
No.
Well, but you know they're irrational. So now on top of that, I was 15 by myself, and they said, "Oh, we overbooked the flight. Can you stay another night?" And I just said, "I'm 15, you fucking dumbasses. I can't stay here by myself in Europe." So
Quite
that's
a
how that
mouth
went.
on you.
Yeah, well, apparently a certain language
Yeah.
just flies out of your young mouth.
I enjoyed the call, though, with the food going
I did
bad
too.
after 14 hours. The jet fuel guy's killing me. Yes, Cody, go ahead. That was it? Okay. Can I defend myself? I said the talking device, and people are kind of picking up on that because it's not an actual microphone. What is that? What is it really called?
PA, I mean, public address
like
system.
PA
Well,
or...
with that said, John C. from Chile, he's writing from South America, everyone.
Oh.
This show is worldwide.
I'll say.
Oh, did you mean jet fuel or make the airplane go liquid? Fucking asshole.
Smart ass. That's good. Make the airplane go liquid.
I'm going to take a beating the rest of the day. Got bumped from first class to coach in between two 250-pound guys. Yeah, that shit happens. Got a blowjob from a stewardess. Hello. Got bumped up to first class my first time flying. Oh,
Yeah,
boy,
it'll
that's not how you want to start your flying
Hope
career.
that's not the blowjob from the stewardess guy. What a great day he had.
Yeah, let's,
I'd be very jealous.
this will be the last one in this set, and then we'll take a break.
We have to take a no talkie time.
Yes. No talkie time.
Jamie in Alabama.
Hey.
Opie.
Yeah.
Man, we were flying to Costa Rica one time, and it was awesome. This chick got me in the back, gave me a good blowjob. She was a stewardess.
That's what this is. See, I could have
That
done
sounds like
that.
5 different stories put into one.
That is the worst
so fast
story
anyway.
I've ever heard.
Dude, I gave all the basics. You're supposed to fill in with details now.
It's
Exactly.
a blowjob story from a stewardess, and it's like, it was awesome. She was a stewardess.
We have no doubt that it was awesome. We were just trying to find out more and how you get that done.
She put my penis in her mouth. And now he's too busy listening to the radio.
Yeah.
All right, we got it.
He's
We got it. Val.
He's the worst person I've ever had call this show.
Yes.
I can't tell
Horrid.
you how depressing it is where we sit when we see what could be radio gold.
Yeah.
These phone calls don't come in on a regular basis. You know you got a nugget.
That guy.
And then there's such a letdown.
He was listening to the radio, so he was talking real slow, trying to answer what was going on the radio. And then his story stunk anyway.
Yeah.
His pacing was enraging.
Wow.
We were on a flight.
That guy made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, he really was bad.
I love the guy.
He was terrible. He was a terrible man.
I almost want to hear that back.
Travis has it if you want it.
Yeah, we gotta hear.
Yeah,
with the setup, by the way, is key because
Yeah.
I gave the basic.
Yeah,
the basics to the phone call.
This is the worst caller we've ever had.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's up for debate, my friend.
I am saying this is the worst caller.
Just his content, and then him listening to himself.
Yeah,
afterwards.
listening to
Just
himself.
icing.
And
All right,
gotta
let's hear
hear
this
this
again. Going back. Got bumped up to first class my first time flying. Oh
Yeah,
boy,
it'll spoil ya.
that's not how you want to start your flying
Hope
career.
that's not the blowjob from the stewardess guy. What a great day he had.
Yeah, let's.
I'd be very jealous.
This will be the last one in this set, and then we'll take a break.
We have to take a no talkie time.
Yes, no talkie time.
Jamie in Alabama.
Hey.
Opie.
Yeah.
Man, we were flying to Costa Rica one time, and it was awesome. This chick got me in the back, gave me a good blowjob. She was a stewardess.
That's what this is. See, I could have done that. Like 5 different stories.
We're back live.
And she was a stewardess. Horrid storytelling.
That was how does a blowjob from a stewardess on a plane story make everybody sick to their stomach?
It was awful.
Thomas Overbeck from Dallas. I thought Chris Farley was dead.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That guy was terrible.
Matt in Boston is saying that this BJ on plane call is the best. Play this every day. I'm laughing so hard at work right now.
That is just the worst call.
Opie. 30 seconds.
I was on a plane to Costa Rica. It was awesome.
It was a stewardess.
This chick took me back plane and gave me a blowjob. She was a stewardess.
I believe one of them girls was a stewardess.
I believe one of them girls was from Arkansas. A boo.
A boo is right.
Holy shit.
That's fantastic.
Somebody wants to defend customer service. Do we really want to go
Yes,
down this road?
we should give a fair shake.
All right, that's fair enough. Hugh in Louisiana. I figured we were talking to a few customer service people today. Go ahead, Hugh.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Thanks a lot, sir. People have been forgetting today. I feel really, really forgotten.
Birthday.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm in customer service, so I never forget.
Okay.
Hey,
Thank you. Big boo.
Hey, well, anyway, I work in customer service, and I can admit that I get a bit desensitized by having to deal with customers all the time, mostly ninjas that are constantly just begging for free stuff with the littlest mistake. And I guess a little bit, you just get desensitized by dealing with the public.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And how demanding and how rude sometimes they get. And every once in a while, you do run across a nice person that genuinely has a legitimate complaint. And as customer service people, you do have to recognize when somebody does have a legitimate complaint, take care of it.
And she was a stewardess.
I didn't even hear what.
I can't get
Is this
through
a good
that.
phone call? Because I'm just.
I know. I can't get through the.
Yeah, sorry.
The
Hugh.
last
We're
guy.
distracted by that guy.
I hit an iceberg with the last guy,
Yeah.
and my ship is sinking.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to go to be on a flight and just start complaining that you wanted to sit next to a not ugly person? How great would that? How angry and embarrassed would they be if you had to be asked to leave the plane because they were too homely and you
fuck.
couldn't enjoy your flight?
Neil in Seattle wants to finish the blowjob story. Neil.
Cool. Neil's a stewardess.
Hey, good day, fellas. How y'all doing?
Better now, Neil.
All right,
Godspeed.
I'm on my way to Germany. I'm going to finish this guy's story. I'm sitting in the back of the plane. I see this voluptuous, beautiful stewardess come up. Our eyes met. Next thing I know, she's ripping my pants off, blowing me in the back of the plane.
Is that true?
No.
No, he wanted.
And he's
he
trying
wanted-
to tell it like Penthouse Forum.
Yeah,
It's awful.
He was trying to pump up
Yeah,
that guy's
he's
story a little
punching
bit.
it up a little.
Sure.
That was very sexy. That couldn't have been sexier if you said so. She walked into the bathroom while I was dropping a deuce and tickled my bag. Fucking,
No.
that was horrendous.
Oh.
And then she slammed the drink cart into my fucking helmet. She closed my dick in the drink cart door.
Steven S. from Bayshore is he's got a request.
Yes.
He wants every call today to end with "She was a stewardess."
She was a stewardess.
We could do that today. Jeff Johnson from Tokyo. Shows worldwide.
Yes,
my
it is.
friends. If the flying public only knew what us pilots did while flying, read newspapers, watch DVDs, sleep, and now that we have internet on the airplanes, porn.
That's good.
That's what you want to see your co-pilot jacking.
Yeah.
By the way, Kenny, can you inform whoever brought this banana, if they ever bring me a banana this far from being ripe again, I'm going to stab their throat.
I told them
that thing won't even peel.
No.
I hate a banana.
It's still got
that won't
fucking.
peel.
It's still got fucking
okay.
root dirt on it.
That's like a plantain.
Oh, they hang from the tree.
Yeah.
I thought they grew out of the ground. I'm a dope.
Like a banana's growing out of the ground. You idiot.
What the fuck? I wish they did. I'd be sitting in my garden.
Hell of a way to harvest a crop. Get the fuck out of here.
Jimmy planting banana seeds.
They never grow.
No.
There's no way you thought that.
I was just thinking
that was a brain fart. There's no way you
for a
thought
second.
that.
Oh, you know, I know they hang from trees in bushels. They come in bushels.
Bunches.
Oh, bunches.
Bushels.
What's wrong? You can tell me.
I haven't picked bananas before. Sometimes eat them.
You're hysterical.
You can tell that we need a vacation. We get. I'm saying talking device. You think bananas grow out of the ground?
A bushel of bananas grow out of the ground. Wrong. Wrong. Holy shit.
All right. Well, it's got root dirt. That was my best joke.
Root dirt. It's still got root dirt on it.
Dirt. What a fucking fool.
Yeah. Wow. Were you ever wrong?
I'm afraid if I bite this, I'm going to chip my tooth.
I know.
I want a fucking ripe banana.
That answer is false.
You get nothing.
no.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Is it good? Sometimes unripe bananas are a little better.
Not in this occasion.
No fucking way. They're never better.
No, sometimes a little unripe is good.
I agree with
as
Gregorio.
opposed to overripe, which is really horrid.
My grandmother-
Mushy. Mushad.
My grandmother would leave bananas out because she liked when they got brown. I know. I swear to God, she would leave them out till they got brown.
Really? Oh, she liked her bananas brown.
I swear to God, she liked the brown banana.
Oh.
Because they were soft for her teeth.
For Nana's teeth.
Yeah.
Ew, yucky.
At that point, you can only make banana bread. Oh, well, this is a very good observation as far as Kenny goes. Ron in New York. Kenny?
Yeah,
That's
Kenny's
one, Mike,
so
yeah.
tall. I met you and him leaning up against the car in front of Caroline's last year.
Yeah.
He was so tall that when I looked at the buildings that he was standing in front of, much like them, he started out normal height, and as he got higher and higher and higher, his head looked like it disappeared, like it was a pinhead, like the buildings. It advanced into the clouds.
It is. He does just have a little tiny head.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an optical illusion.
We got it.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
You know, in one of the
But we're not.
in one of the videos I made, they actually were debating if Kenny is slightly retarded.
Really?
He's slightly or completely?
Yeah, wait a minute. What's slightly?
No, not even as the joke we do for the show. They were really like studying
really?
his eyes, his face.
Oh, wow.
How the head comes up to a slight like point.
Doberman Pinscher type of fucking head.
I was like, these guys are ruthless, man.
But he was a police officer.
Yes, of course.
I'm a cop, you idiot.
Probably the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, see? It's very,
What?
You know what Kenny can do? He can,
crack some skulls.
deduce. He really can. He can,
Because he's a douche. Get it?
Holy shit. I'm absolutely crying over here. This is going to be a rough rest of the week, man. This is just...
You might want to tune in. We started silly time 3 days early.
It's the last few days of class.
Stewardess blowjob guy totally ruined the rest of the
I
week.
know, he really did.
Yeah, and that fucking guy didn't end his phone call with the steward line.
No.
Stewardess line.
Steward.
Big difference.
Got a blowjob from a steward.
I was on a flight.
Yes, I have a story.
It was awesome.
Awesome. I have to get back now and tend to my banana garden. Get it? Banana garden. Holy shit, Jimmy. That is so good.
Yeah. Kyle S. from Indiana writes that my big word today is PA. So I'm going to start there. Kenny isn't too sociable. He fell asleep while I was talking to him once. Get the fuck out of here. Anthony, Jersey Shore.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, man.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Oh.
Hey, yeah, I was at one of the last shows where they had the audience in there, and I was talking to Kenny. He fell asleep on the chair with us, and I got a picture of it. I'd like to share it with you, fellas.
Okay.
All right.
Give it to a girl with big tits and have her bring it up.
I'm going to send it in to you, fellas, all right?
All right. Thank you, Anthony.
Take care.
And somebody needs Jimmy's help. We got James in Virginia. James.
Hey, how dumb are you, Jimmy?
That's not a good way to ask for my help, James.
Oh, shit.
That's no way to ask for my help.
By the way, that caller didn't end his call with the stewardess line.
For some apples?
What's that?
Can I help you dig for some apples today, Jimmy?
What was that? Hold on. Your phone cuts out.
And I was talking over.
You want to what?
Can we dig for some
Hey, we heard it.
Exactly. Apple digger, shut up.
Fucking stupid apple joke.
All right, listen.
I hope we dig through a pile of shit for some apples and we find you holding one. Get it? Because there's duty on him. The man has duty on him.